Good morning, my IRS skeptic friend. I can make a valiant attempt to try and show evidence of this. I don't know exactly what you're looking for, but I will start off by saying the Federal Reserve is, as I'm sure you're aware, very separate. That is the banking system of the government, and they report directly to Congress. The IRS has been established to be set up under the Department of Treasury, which is one of the multiple departments. The Department of Treasury has 7 bureaus, and those are the Alcohol and Tobacco, Tax and Trade Bureau, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, they make the money, along with the United States Mint, the Bureau of Fiscal Service, Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, Internal Revenue Service, and Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. All of this started way back in the 1800s. More officially started in the 1800s during the Civil War. They needed money, so they passed a couple of different revenue acts, and those were in 1862, 64, I think there's another one in 67, and they started out by saying, hey, we need to collect tax, here's an office for a Treasury Department, and then it kind of expanded to be called like Department of Internal Revenue or something like that, and it continued to expand. Later, there was a law that said they had to refund most of those taxes or some of those that they collected during the time that weren't utilized. Then, as time went on, those departments were not completely dissolved, even though the tax kind of went up and down during that time, and there were some court cases that said it was illegal to collect tax at the end of the 1800s, and those contradicted other court cases, so Congress kind of realized that, well, this is going to be controversial, so we either need to make an amendment or take away tax altogether. So they established or introduced a potential amendment, which was going to become the 16th Amendment. It was finally finalized in 1913, I believe, and then that said, legally in our Constitution, the IRS or the government can collect taxes. The Department of the IRS was still under the Department of Treasury at that time. There have been several reform acts over the years, but in 1998, there was a restructuring and reform act that established that there was a commissioner of the IRS, and that person is elected or appointed directly by the president. He reports to the Secretary of the Treasury. So that helps establish the IRS is under the Treasury Department, not under the, Federal Reserve. So, I don't know if that helps at all, but I feel like we change commissioners frequently. When I worked there, we had a lot, and I never knew what their names were because there was too many. But it does go up the chain of command. Internal Revenue Service reports to the Treasury Department, who reports to the President and Congress. The Commissioner does have a lot of control to do a lot of things and make a lot of changes, but his actions do have to be approved by the Secretary of Treasury. So, I don't know if that answered your question at all. I hope it does a little bit. But it does go, you can look, whether you believe it or not, on the IRS's site, the Treasury Department's website, other government sites, and probably outside websites that will show you a chart that shows the structure of the government and everything underneath it and who reports to whom.